Hey everybody, welcome to my home. My name is Becky and I am so excited that you're here today. Today's video is going to be on the short side and very simple. I just had some footage that I had on my phone that I needed to get off. I went to a few thrift stores over the last few weeks and I went to 2 antique stores. I really haven't found anything lately. I'm kind of in that dry spell again. Plus the things I'm looking for are more in tune to what I need for the wedding. So I don't really need a whole lot for my home, but I'm always on the lookout for that special, amazing find that's just around the corner. But I did want to share the footage with you. I'm going to let you look at that. When you get back, I'll show you what I found. One of the items that I found, you're not really going to be surprised when you see it because I've honestly already shared it with you. And the other two pieces aren't even on the footage. So it's going to be just what I've picked up at the thrift store over the last few weeks. But I need to get this footage off my phone. I need to get it out to you, and then that way we can move on to the next project and the next adventure. So sit back and see what I saw over the last few weeks and see if there's anything that maybe you would have purchased. Let me know down in the comments if you would have picked that up and if I was crazy for leaving it behind. So Summer and I were doing a little bit of traveling recently. She had a doctor's appointment in Raleigh, and we decided that we were going to go to one of our old stomping grounds very close to where Lily used to live. Every time we would go visit her, this was a stop we would make, and it's essentially what it is a Habitat for Humanity. Their prices are incredible. On this particular day, they had the most beautiful pieces in there. They just didn't have a lot of what I needed. I have so much. I usually try to be a little more picky and specific about what I pick up. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that these cups and saucers are custard glass. I could be wrong. Definitely tell me down in the comments if I'm incorrect. But they had them placed right in front of the window so you could kind of see the light coming through them, and they were just absolutely beautiful. They were made by Fire King. They were marked $1.50 each, so one cup and saucer would have been $3, which is still an incredible price considering what it is. And I picked up these glasses because I wondered if they were Dorothy Thorpe. I don't know a whole lot about her glasses. I just know that you're supposed to look for the band around the top, and that's what I kind of wondered if they were. These dishes were absolutely beautiful. I think they had, $12 for the whole set, which was an incredible price. I just have so many. I have so many dishes. I just don't need any more. But how pretty would those be for a St. Patrick's Day table display, tablescape? So beautiful. I'm kind of regretting not getting them now. And then they had lots of amber glass today. I have all of these pieces. This is sandwich glass, so I have a full set of this particular size and everything, so I did not need them, but I did want to share them with you because I thought they were so beautiful. And that pillow, how cute is that? I think that this piece of glass might be a little older. It kind of reminds me of Buttons and Bows, which is more along the line of early American pattern glass, but again, correct me if I'm wrong. I'm sure there's a lot of you out there who are much more experienced at it than I am, but that's what that looked like to me. I thought this little vanity table was absolutely beautiful. It was $425, so little on the pricey side, more along the lines of what my Habitat for Humanity is, which is where we are now. We're back home now. My Habitat for Humanity is so expensive. I rarely find a good deal in it. I thought this little set was beautiful. There was a date on the bottom, and it seemed to be made in Germany. I think I'm going to pick up a piece here shortly that's going to actually have the date. I thought this might have been someone's wedding set. Whoever this belonged to, 1939. Isn't that amazing? Whoever this belonged to, this must have ended up in an estate sale or something, because that would have been something that you would have never parted with. I can't remember who made this little Christmas set, but they had a lot of pieces to it, and I just wanted to share that with you. I like that little tidbit tray. I went there today, and the tidbit tray is still there. They haven't sold that part yet, but they're priced so high. I'm surprised they've sold what they have of it. Let's see, what does that say? Holiday. I don't know. I just thought it was pretty. I wanted to share it with you. And of course, the ruby red. Oh, this is Viking. Isn't that beautiful? Just love the colored glass. I don't think I've ever seen the little coasters out in the wild before. I don't think I've ever seen them in an antique store before. I just thought they were pretty and unusual, and I wanted to share them. So many of you love the cottage core look. I thought these were the perfect cottage core drinking glasses that I had ever seen. They're just so pretty. The light pastel colors also would be beautiful for spring. I love these little rabbits. They were made out of wood, but they were priced kind of on the high side, especially if you got all of them. And they would have been so cute in my tier tray, but I did leave them behind. These little pieces here were too cute. I believe they were probably hobbyist pieces. I have a set of little reindeer and pulling a sled that is very similar to this. I thought they were adorable. They weren't priced too high. Now we're in an antique store. We're in Wilmington, North Carolina. This antique store was Baker Street Curiosity Shop. It is located on Market Street. If you're ever in Wilmington, check it out. It's not a real big antique store, but it's still a fun place to stop and visit. This particular booth always has beautiful things, and I love to look through it. I never buy anything from them because they are so expensive. But I do like to look, and there are other booths in there that I do buy from that don't price their items quite so high. I'm always a sucker for a little skunk, a little ceramic skunk. I just think they are too cute. And this particular vendor has a lot of owls. I look at this owl every time I go, and I always leave it behind because I think she's got it marked a little too high. And then there was some vintage pins, and it reminded me of when I was young, and my very first concert I ever went to was a New Kids on the Block concert, and I had a vest, a jean jacket, denim vest, and it was full of buttons, and I would love to be able to find that one day. I know I never will because it was at my mother's house, but how fun would that be to find that vest? Because I've actually been to a New Kids on the Block concert as an adult, and it was just as fun, just as magical. This little book ends with the bookworm coming through it. I just thought it was sweet, and I wanted to share that. I always love these Fire King mugs. David has a little collection of them, so we already have these at our house, but I just love them, and I thought these were nice and groovy too. I don't know what this little owl tray would have been used for, but I just thought it was pretty. I would have probably put it on just a little easel and sit on my owl shelf in my craft room, but for $20 I decided to leave it behind. I thought this little sewing box was absolutely beautiful. Look at the patterns and the colors, and it was up on little legs too. It wasn't priced very high either, $39.99. I didn't think that was too terribly bad for an antique store anyway. And I couldn't close it because there was so much stuff in it, but I think you're able to kind of get the gist of it. And then this is Flea Bodies. It is also on Market Street. It is also an antique store, much larger of an antique store. I definitely recommend going there if you're ever in the Wilmington area. They have a lot of fun things to look at. If I was not planning Lily's wedding right now, this would have come home with me because I do collect these amber glass swan glass vases, and I think it was marked around $50, which is not a terrible price. Yeah, $52.50. That's not a bad price, honestly. I just am watching what I spend right now to make sure that I have enough money to do this wedding for her the way that it should be done. How cute is that little Eskimo? It's a little cookie jar. Just thought that was adorable. Wanted to share that. This booth that I'm in right now was a new vendor that I had not ever come across before in Flea Bodies. I love their style. I think their prices were pretty reasonable. That little jar was $19.50, so maybe they were a little more on the high side. But unfortunately, when I was in these stores, the antique stores, my nephew called me and I got on the phone with him, and I did not get to film all the things that I wanted to film, so I had to just rush back through and get a quick visual for you guys so that I could have it for the video. But I walked around probably an hour just talking to him on the phone. This was one of the items that I was sure to go back to record, because when I saw it, I was thinking, I wish I wasn't on the phone so that I could record this, but I made my way back to find it. And I am looking for one of these in a different color. I have a craft in mind for it, but I didn't like this color. Okay, so the only thing that I have to share with you, like I said, I already shared this with you a few days ago, but I got these beautiful bowls. That was one of the first things that you saw in the footage. These are clean now. When I showed them to you the first time, they were very dirty, but they're nice and clean. These are absolutely beautiful. I got these for I think $1 and change. I can't remember exactly how much I paid for them, but I did get 2 of them. I have a larger chop bowl size that I have displayed in my kitchen year round. I absolutely love it. I found it on eBay, so I did pay up a little bit for it, but I would do it over again in a heartbeat because I love that plate so much and I enjoy it, and it's right out on my kitchen counter for me to enjoy every single day, and I get the most joy out of looking at it every day. So I was happy to find the bowls to match. I'm not quite sure what I'm going to do with them. It's a little harder to decorate with a bowl than it is with a plate. So, and then the only other 2 things I got this little plate holder. I use these all the time, and same as this other piece that I picked up, it's just a little riser. Anytime I see pieces like this in the thrift store, I usually pick them up. Each one of these was 99¢. Whenever I'm doing a display, either on my shelves or in my tier tray, I like to make things varying heights. It just makes them a little more interesting to look at. So I always love to pick these up whenever I run across them. And you know, when you have a love for plates the way I do, you kind of need all the plate holders. So we definitely needed that. And then this is actually a good little size to hold my little bowl. So maybe we can find a place to put it somewhere in the house. I don't know. I'll have to look around and see what we can come up with. But that's kind of all I bought, other than I did get some baskets for the wedding. You've seen all the baskets. They're not any different than the other ones that I picked up, so I didn't think you'd be too interested in seeing them, but believe it or not, I still need baskets and I'm still buying them. Yes, I am. I've got a lot of baskets to fill up for that wedding. So anyway, I guess that's all I have for you for today. I know it wasn't much or very exciting, but it's always fun for me to hang out with you guys. I always enjoy it, even if it is just for a few minutes. It's fun for me, so hopefully it's fun for you too. So until next time, I love you all, and I'll see you later. Bye.